It's time for Success in Real Estate with Frankie Griffin, owner and broker in charge of the Palmetto Success Team, certified residential specialist, accredited buyer representative, military relocation professional, real estate appraiser, and author of Success in Real Estate. If you are interested in buying or selling a home, investing in real estate, or having your home appraised, you will enjoy Success in Real Estate. Now, here's Frankie Griffin.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Success in Real Estate. I am Frankie Griffin, realtor and appraiser in South Carolina. Thank you, as always, for tuning in, joining us for this next hour. Going to have a lot of fun talking about some things I think is important if you're selling your house. We're certainly going to touch on at least some, maybe the top 10 things that I believe will absolutely kill the sale of your home if you're not careful. So we want to make sure we address these things, but we're always here wanting to help you. And obviously, if you're trying to sell your house or thinking about selling your house or buying a house, we want to help you, the Palmetto Success Team. I think we have some very unique ideas, things that we do that you may not see a lot of others do, but we'd love to talk to you about it. You can certainly go to our website and just get the information you need there, a lot of it. But if you want to call me or email me, all our contact information is on my website. Again, just go to frankiegriffin.com, frankiegriffin.com. Love to help you any way we can, and very much looking forward to it. And I think we're going to go ahead and lead off this show with our phone caller. We got a caller already on the line, so let's go straight to the phones where we've got Tino. How you doing, Tino?
Good, man. How you doing?
Oh, this is a fine day today. What can we do for you?
I just had a few questions for you. I was asking, do you buy investment properties?
I do. I think real estate is probably the second greatest investment you can make. I love it, and I enjoy that.
So what would be the first greatest investment?
The first what? What
would be the first greatest investment?
Well, the first I've always thought is knowledge and education. So education would be number one. You never want to jump in and do anything without knowledge of what you're doing. There's a couple ways to learn things, I think, in life. One, you can pay to be taught what you need to know, or you can just try it by yourself, and I think you're going to find that's going to be a very expensive way to learn, too, if you just jump in there not knowing what you're doing.
Okay. Another question I have for you is, so being that you are an agent and you also buy investment properties, have you ever been in a situation where being an agent and an investor, one of the other limited you from going into a deal or stopped the closing of a deal?
Not that I've never had that situation at all. In fact, I think it helps a lot. And I think you'll find if you talk to a lot of real estate agents, especially those that have been in the business for a while, we know, or veteran agents, they know real estate is, again, in my opinion, the best investment you can make for a lot of reasons, and that'd be a whole show getting into that. But you'll find a lot of your top agents around the state, and not just South Carolina, but in the country, also own a lot of real estate. And right. So it's a huge advantage to be licensed. A lot of times you can sort of see things coming on the market a little faster than you could if you didn't have access to some of the same things that real estate agents have. So I think it's a very large benefit to be an agent.
Wow.
Okay.
All right. Well, so I have a goal that I'm trying to reach, and I do read a lot of books and things like that. And so my goal, was to make $30,000 a month, and that's because that $30,000 includes the kind of lifestyle that I want to live, and I want to also contribute and things like that. But I mean, let's say I want to make $30,000 a month, and I like real estate, and where do I start? And, what are 3 important things that I should stay focused on, to be successful or reach my goal?
Well, you got to have a firm plan or an objective on how you want to do that. And there'd be a lot of there's a lot of things we need to talk about, and I'd love to help you with that if something you're interested in. It'd probably be better if we sit down and talk, because everybody has a little different objective. There are many different investment strategies just in real estate. And depending on exactly what you're trying to accomplish will sort of dictate which path we want to take to get to where you want to go. So I just don't know that we got enough time to get into your specific question. It's a great question, but if you want to call me maybe during the week sometime, or during the day, we'll get together and talk about when we can sit down and go over it for you. Okay?
I have one more question for you.
Okay.
And so I'm looking to take up final sales course at Real Estate School for Success. Is there any way that I can get a discount?
Well, there is. You've already taken the first year class. Is that or taking?
Yeah, I'm taking it.
Okay. Well, very good. Well, yeah, we'd love to have you in our final sales course. In fact, we'll be having one coming up pretty soon, and yeah, I'll give you $50 off. How about that?
Hey, man, that sounds like a plan, man. I love that.
All righty. Well, I appreciate you calling, Tino. Hope you have a great weekend, my friend.
All right, you do the same.
All right, take care. All right, and again, if you have any questions about investing in real estate, I do enjoy investing. I love real estate. I bought my first house when I was 17, and I've been messing with real estate ever since. I absolutely love real estate. And again, if we can help you out, just go to our website, frankiegriffin.com. There you'll find my phone number, my email address. You can watch these radio shows if you'd like. A lot of things that I think would be very pertinent if you're buying or selling real estate on our website. And some other things and I wanted to get into the top 10 things that will absolutely kill your home sale.
And now, the Mortgage Update with Erica Hill West on Success in Real Estate.
Time for our mortgage update with our mortgage go-to gal, Miss Erica Hill West. How you doing, Miss Erica?
I'm doing great. And yourself?
Oh, I am so fine today after hearing what all the students had to say about you yesterday. I was blown away.
They were nice.
Cannot thank you enough. Wish I was there. I actually had to go to Greenville yesterday, and in fact, I'll be going back to Greenville today teaching the class for the Auctioneers Association. So, but this is, I'm not sure what you told the class yet or what y'all talked about exactly, but of course Ashley was telling me about how the students, when they came out after you finished, they just could not hush.
Oh.
So what in the world did you tell them?
I kind of just do a brief overview of, who I am, what my company is, and kind of what we do and how we view financing and just the different products that we have to offer and all that kind of stuff. I think sometimes people are just, if you never are educated on finance or the correct way to present finance to clients or borrowers, I'm sure that it's eye-opening because they really don't have a whole lot to do with the finance part. A realtor's job is to be knowledgeable enough to suggest someone who is reputable to handle the transaction and to be knowledgeable of what products are out there. Besides that, it's kind of like me telling somebody how to do a market analysis. I have no idea. But I can put you in contact with someone who can. And so sometimes I think when I start giving some information, just how credit reporting works with credit scores and how program guidelines work and the difference in being a lender and a bank and how that affects program guidelines and conditions and requirements, I think they're really impressed because, for an agent, I think, and even for consumers, it's really, really difficult to get a grasp on what program guides are and what is required of them because it's different everywhere you go.
And you're absolutely right. I'm sorry, I didn't cut you off. Go ahead.
No, that's, and so I was kind of explaining why that is. Why do some people require, 50 other documents that we don't need, or vice versa? And, a lot of that has to do with selling on the secondary market and what the lender or the bank's investor is requesting of them.
Okay.
And I told them the advantage with us is that we are Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Ginnie Mae Direct. And so, if all else fails, we can sell directly to them. And so it's kind of bare minimum underwriting and loan documentation. So it can be more desirable than, an agent thinks, oh, we don't need a CL 100 on government loans, and, you have a bunch of lenders that do want it because you worked with one that didn't request it. It's confusing. It's hard to keep track of it. It really is.
Well, and it is for me, but I don't have to worry about it because I just know your phone number.
That's true.
And that's all I really care about. But, a lot of people are, and to include myself there for a while, I was thinking your credit score is really going to determine whether you get a loan or not. And that's not necessarily the case. The credit score actually will sort of determine where your interest rate and other terms are going to be. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, to some extent, everybody has a minimum credit score requirement. But I tell people that just because you have sufficient credit doesn't mean that you're absolutely going to get that loan. Mm-hmm. And that's the biggest misconception because that's just one factor. I tell people there are many stages to getting pre-qualified for a mortgage, and the first one just happens to be pulling credit. If we pull credit and you happen to have minimum credit score requirements, then we move on to the next step. And the next step is to put that credit file and all the information that has been provided to us through an automated underwriting system to see if that person's credit file matches up with the program guidelines on the most basic level. If it passes that stage, that's usually when I give a pre-qualification letter and collect all the documents to get it through actual underwriting. So there's lots of stages to go through before you'll actually know, if you're going to get a loan. Right. What your interest rate's going to be, what program you qualify for. And that's really hard because I've had people that have a 680 credit score, but they're not going to get a loan.
Right.
And then I've had 590 credit scores that do get a loan. And so if we fixate on credit too much, I think you miss out on all the other pieces of the puzzle that are needed in order to get financing.
Well, Eric, I'm just going to tell you, there's just not very many loan officers, mortgage consultants that understand the detail that you do. It blows me away. It just seems like a lot of lenders you talk to or the loan officers, it's just either they'll get the information they need, and then they'll either yes you get it or no you don't, and they really don't understand what goes behind that decision, and can't help the client on how to get into the position where we can get the loan.
Right. That's true.
And to me, I think that's what sets you apart. And those that do work with you understand that very quickly. And it's such a huge weight off my shoulders when I can refer a client to you and know that they're going to be taken care of, and I have no more concern or worries there. But I did want to, and I'm not sure how much time we got left, but I wanted to make sure we touch on a couple other things. One, sure. The last time we talked, Fannie Mae has a different program that helps out with the conventional loan, at least the down payment portion of that, right?
Yes.
And talk to, again, what is the down payment requirement now for conventional loans, and have you seen any difference in the market because of that?
So the new Fannie Mae has, and this was the same up until November of 2013. You could do a conventional loan for first-time home buyers with 3% down. They got rid of it for about a year, and then they just brought it back. All it means is one person who is on the financing of the mortgage cannot have owned property within the last 3 years. If one person meets that requirement, then you can put as little as 3% down and get conventional financing and buy your house.
Wow.
I have not seen that much movement in it, only because as soon as Fannie Mae made that announcement, FHA came out and said they were lowering their monthly mortgage insurance.
Yes.
Effective on case numbers ordered after this coming up Monday on the 26th.
Yep.
And so what that kind of did is it brought conventional and FHA financing more on a level playing field. And people are like, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 3.5%, that 0.5% is not going to be that much more of a deterrent when the mortgage insurance is most likely going to be more desirable now on the FHA.
Okay.
So now on a 5%, a conventional may be more desirable, depending on credit score and what kind of rate you can get for your monthly mortgage insurance. But it's about time FHA really did something about that, because it really was pricing people out of the housing market.
Okay.
Where they couldn't afford to buy.
Well, and I'm going to use this segment and maybe a little bit of the last segment to talk about the 10 things that will absolutely kill your home sale. And we want to avoid that if you're thinking about selling your home or thinking about getting ready to sell your home. The first thing, and by the way, these aren't things I've come up with personally. These are things I actually was reading in Realty Times. So it's several different things, but I want to talk about the top 10. And by the way, and a lot of you probably have already heard this, but they do or have a ranking of states that where what state has the most people moving into it, and the last 2 years running anyway, the number one state in the country that have people migrating to is the state of Oregon, which is a little bit of a surprise to me. But they've been number one for a couple of years. And number 2 in the country is South Carolina. That's awesome. So we got a lot of people looking to move into South Carolina. I hope, will certainly help build and preserve property values. So all that's a good thing. So I want to throw that out there real quick. But let's look here. Number one way to absolutely kill the sale of your home is when there's excessive damage throughout the home, where maybe you've got maybe a few holes here and there in the walls. The floors or maybe got hardwood floors and they're all scratched up, and just things like that can be a huge turnoff to buyers. Because I'm just going to tell you, outside of a true investor looking to buy a home, and every now and then I'll have buyers tell me, well, Frankie, we're kind of really looking at something that might be considered a fixer-upper, something we can get at a really good price and just kind of fix it up along and along. I've just learned that's not exactly what they're looking for. They're looking for the cheap price, but a house that doesn't need any work done to it. And so if you're wanting to get this house sold, and especially at or anywhere near market value, you might want to take a look at any of these little, you might consider them nitpicking, but I'm going to tell you, if you got a lot of nitpicking little things, little damaged areas, they start adding up, and it can certainly turn a buyer off very quickly. Number 2, and this is something I noticed, I've noticed quite a bit, quite frankly, and I don't understand why, but an appraisal I did a couple of weeks ago in a house had this situation where there's carpet in the bathroom. Not too sure why we would do that. Maybe a throw rug or something over the tile or whatever, but I just don't think laying carpet in the bathroom is a very good idea. It certainly does not seem like it would be very sanitary to me. But I can tell you, for most buyers apparently feel the same way I do. That's a huge turnoff. Might feel good when you first put it in there and walk in there having the warm carpet on the floor, but that's just going to cause problems. Highly recommend you reconsider carpet in bathrooms. Take it out, put your tile down or some other type of flooring. I think almost anything would be better than carpet. That would be my opinion. Number 3, we got a lot of big, nasty stains in the carpet throughout the house. That is very distracting and unattractive. That will cause buyers to walk away. Because I'm going to tell you, depending on that stain, you can have the carpet cleaned, but a lot of times, depending on that stain, you're just, that stain's there. It's not going anywhere. Again, it's very unattractive, and that could be the one thing that turns the buyer off. Because you got to understand, most time buyers, they're going to be looking at a few different houses, and they're going to be comparing your house with the house down the street. And when they're trying to pick that, they've got maybe a couple they're trying to choose between. They're going to go with the house that has the fewer issues like that, with carpet stains, again, the damage we were talking about a little bit earlier. So these things can really come back and haunt you. And I know sellers tell me, well, Frank, that's an easy fix or very inexpensive fix. Okay, well then go ahead and fix it then. If it's so easy and inexpensive, take care of it now so it doesn't weigh on what the buyer's decision is going to be when it comes to buying or not buying your home. Number 4 on their list are pet smells. And y'all, we have talked about that a number of times on the show. I know a lot of people have indoor pets, and for those that have the indoor pets, I know they're just as close to you as your own children would be. And I get that, but I'm just going to tell you, not everybody. In fact, there are fewer pet owners would have indoor pets than that don't. And the first thing you're going to notice, or a buyer that does not live in a house with animals, will immediately pick up on a pet odor or pet smell. And that, again, that's just a huge turnoff. I know I just stepped on some feet. I know that a lot of people take it very personal because they love their dog or cat or whatever so much. I get that, but I'm just telling you, this is what buyers are thinking, so it can make selling your home much, much more difficult. And then along the same lines with the pets, in number 5 on the list, when you drive up, you get out of the car to get ready to go to the house, and you've got these large, especially these large dogs that might be in the backyard or whatever, and they just start really barking very loud, ferociously. And it might not even be your dog. It may be a neighbor's dog, where every time you walk out in your yard, this dog starts barking very loudly all the time. That can be a deal killer. People like to be able to walk out in their own yard without feeling harassed by a neighbor's animal or dog or whatever. Now, again, if it's a neighbor's dog or animal, I don't know too much about what you can do there, and I'm not suggesting you do anything. It's just a comment that something you might as well understand and be ready for. That's for sure. Number 6 on the list are the dead lawns. Sometimes spruce it up a little bit, and you can buy some very inexpensive bushes, flowers, if you will, colorful. Even this time of the year, there are still some colorful things, and they might not last long, but just something to kind of liven up the lawn a little bit. Just give it a little bit of color somewhere, so it doesn't just look completely dead. And then even in the spring and summer times, hopefully the grass will turn green, but not only does the grass turn green, but so do all the weeds, and they outgrow the grass for some reason. So again, the curb appeal, that's going to be a big deal for a lot of homeowners. They like a nice looking yard, so pay attention to that. We've only got one more minute left, but number 7 is, in some cases, a bad agent can cost you the deal. Whether the agent's uninformed, or in some cases just lazy, trying to cut corners, not doing the things that need to be done, not providing the right information, not making the right disclosures, and I could go on and on and on. So obviously, your agent could cost you the deal, or a good agent could just as easily save a deal for you that you might not have gotten otherwise. That's for sure. Number 8, real quick, sloppiness by the seller. Pick the house up, clean up, put things away. And we're going to touch on that a little bit more. And plus, I got 2 more on the top 10 things that could kill a deal. Right now, let's go straight to our phone lines, where first up, we've got Courtney. How you doing, Courtney?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, this is such a fine day today, Courtney.
Yes, it is.
What in the world are you up to?
Well, I'm actually at work, but I wanted to call and ask a couple questions.
Awesome.
I am starting your classes Monday morning, and just wanted to know what could I expect when I get there.
For what? Now, what class the real estate class?
Yes, sir.
Goodness, that's going to be a lot of stuff. It's a 60-hour course.
Okay.
And it's a lot of things that you're going to learn about real estate. And one thing I think surprises a lot of people, Courtney. Most people, if you ask them if they know what real estate is, well, everybody knows what real estate is.
Right.
Or at least they think they do. But then once we start breaking it down into what exactly real estate is, it's usually not what most people thought. There's just a lot of other things that go into making up real estate, which is good in most cases, I think. But in some cases, if you're not sure what you're getting into, it can actually work against you. So it's just a lot of good information. I don't know that we got time in this short segment we've got now to get into it, but I can tell you will thoroughly enjoy the class, even if you never even got into real estate to help people buy and sell. Some of the things you'll learn in the class you'll find will help you in your next purchase or sale. I'd venture to say we're going to show you how to save tens of thousands of dollars potentially on buying and selling yourself.
Okay. Well, that sounds good.
Yeah.
And what excites you about real estate? Like, what is the most, exciting part about what you do?
I work for Frankie.
Okay.
That's it. Well, obviously, first of all, I love real estate. I always have. I've always been involved some way or another in real estate, and I just enjoy it. It's a very people-oriented business. I thoroughly enjoy talking to people, and I most certainly enjoy talking about real estate. Helping others do it, and there's a lot, especially if you ever work with that first-time home buyer. And you help them get into that house, and just to watch the smile on their face, they're just eating up with joy sitting at that closing table because they're now becoming, for the very first time in life, a homeowner. You just can't beat that. But working for Frankie, obviously, that's a big deal. I like that. Most of the time, I can get along with Frankie. Sometimes we have a difference in opinions, but for the most part, I enjoy it. I work for me. I don't work for anybody else. And the other thing I like, now this might be a little bit scary for some people, but in real estate, you have a job, or if you have a job, you're going to get paid exactly what somebody else thinks you're worth.
Right.
Well, in real estate, you're going to get paid exactly what you're worth. And now I like that. I'm okay with that. For some people, that may be a little bit scary. Wait a minute. I'm only going to get what I'm worth. Yep, that's going to be it. That will be all you're going to get paid. So I like that. I really do. I think that's good questions, Courtney. I appreciate that.
Well, and also one last question. Didn't know if there was a possibility that I could get a discount.
Well, you must have heard a caller earlier this morning, and and absolutely you can. And
Wonderful.
we always want to help people attend class at our Real Estate School for Success. And so, how about $50? I'll give you $50 off the next class.
That sounds wonderful.
Well, Courtney, I hope you have a wonderful weekend.
You too.
All righty. You take care.
All right.
All right. I do want to make sure we hit the other couple issues here. Brian, how much time have I got time to knock them out?
You got about 3 minutes.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, that's an eternity in radio. All right. The last two things, number 9 would be dealing with unreasonable sellers. And what they're talking about here, if a buyer has a home inspection and that inspection uncovers material defects. Now, I'm not talking about what we might consider cosmetic stuff. I'm talking about material defects. Leaking roof, plumbing problem, electrical, things of that nature. Seller, you're going to have to help. You're going to have to probably fix those kind of things. One, it could hamper the buyer from being able to get financing if there are certain repairs that are needed and they're not made prior to closing. And so, this just can cause you a lot of problems. The next thing is, there's other houses available out there, and I know every homeowner I've ever talked to feels like they've got the best home and the most valuable home, and I get that. But I'm just going to tell you, there are other homes out there, and if the seller tries to make it too tough by just refusing to fix certain things, especially material defects, it's going to turn buyers away. You're going to run them to a different property. So assuming you want to sell, sometimes we have to go in there and fix the things we might not want to, but you just have to do it. Number 10 is, for the lack of better words, just bad taste. Where you're fixing things in the house that are just not very tasteful, I guess, in the eyes of a lot of others. And I've seen some pretty extravagant, and maybe another word, very wild in appearance looking, very, very overbearing colors sometimes on the walls or and so forth. And, just a lot of buyers, they're not into that. They like the neutral. They want to feel very comfortable. They don't want to feel startled when they come in. Just things like that. In fact, I'll just tell you, I was showing a house a few days ago and turned on the light in the bathroom. I don't know what color they had on the wall, but when you turn the light on, it was so bright you could not see in that bathroom. Literally, you could not see. We had to turn the lights back off just to be able to see a little bit. Now, when you've got that kind of color on the wall where you can see better with no lights than you can with the lights on, a little bit overbearing right there, for sure. So just be careful about those kind of things. And if you like it while you're living there, that's awesome. But when you get ready to sell, you may want to consider just putting some very neutral colors, earth tone type colors. I think works very well. It will help the house show so much better. And anytime you're getting ready to sell your house, if you've ever sold a house before, you already know this. But selling your house is very inconvenient. There's nothing convenient about selling your house. You got people coming in all the times, and it's going to be the very moment when you don't really want anybody over. But we try to help that be a little bit less painful. Love to help you out. Give us a call, the Palmetto Success Team. Go to my website, www.frankiegriffin.com. Again, frankiegriffin.com. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you have a safe, wonderful weekend. You've been listening to Success in Real Estate on the Point.